All right, we good?
Yeah, we're good.
Cool. What's good, y'all? I hope everybody's living well and staying blessed. This is episode 2 of Holla at Your Boy. And today I sat down with my producer, the one and only Mr. Evan Simmons.
Yo.
How you doing, brother?
Hanging in there, man.
Good, man. Good to hear. Nice to see you, as always. Today we talked about relationships, first dates, and the importance of conversations within those things, as well as an issue that I think all of us have been dealing with since being on quarantine because of COVID-19, and that is being forced to sit down with one's thoughts, and whether that be the good side of it or the bad side of it, it's something that I think all of us have had to deal with, and I know a lot of us have dealt with it better than others. And then a main talking point for this entire episode was these 3 pillars of discipline, but not necessarily pillars. I would say more like personalities.
Yeah.
Right. Of discipline, and these are the things that we defined it as you're either the soldier, the artist, or the fundamentalist. And we get into what we mean by those statements, what we think the pros and cons of each one of those types of personalities are. So I hope you stick around, and I hope you enjoy this episode. And if you do, please subscribe to this channel so you can get all the notifications for future episodes. And as always, hope you guys stay well. What were we talking about, though? We were
Earlier?
Yeah, what were we talking about earlier?
Off pod.
Off pod.
Talking about first dates.
First dates. Yeah, we're talking about first dates for a while.
Yeah. I think we're just talking about like conversation, like the different, because like to me there's 2 like avenues of conversation. There's the deep talks where you're like talking through stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's the like surface level, like we're not really getting to, if you want to, like, if I gave it an analogy, it'd be like one's like scuba diving and one's like kind of swimming on top of the water.
Yeah.
Like, and to me, like the better experience is the scuba diving. Everyone can do the pool stuff. Like, everyone can just swim on top of the water and just like, hi, how you doing? Like that's easy. That's 2 feet. Like, we're in the shallow end, but going down Mariana's Trench, like all the way down there, or even remotely deep is.
I think both sides are important, to some extent, in different, avenues.
Because one's more fun.
Well, one's more fun, but just like, I think it's important to be able to talk about nothing sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I think it gets to the point of where it's exhausting. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because if you spend the entire time just like having deep philosophical conversations, it'd get
like those to me are really special. So if you have them every single time you talk with a person, then it kind of just negates the
specialness
the
of
specialness,
it,
the intimacy of having that conversation, because you're pretty locked into those conversations when you get to have them.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I also think it's really important that you're able to talk to somebody about the nonsense call on the football play.
Right. Yeah. You should be able to conversate that other way.
Yeah. Because I mean, you've met a couple of those people where they just can't hold conversation. Like, they can only. Actually, I don't know if you've met any of those people. But like,
oh no, I've definitely, especially people like online, or like people there's also people in general that just don't go more than like a couple of words. I don't know if it's like, I need to talk to one of those people and be like, what is your, like, why can't you say more than like, yeah, that was funny, or cool? I mean, not just in text conversation, but like in person, like those, like, what's going through your head to where you're just like,
I still think they've been taught how to.
Are you really taught conversation though? Like,
I think so. I mean, you're taught to do everything else. Why wouldn't conversation be a part of that? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I think that's also like the experiences that you have, like, because like I mean, there's two, yeah, because I think you spend a lot of time learning stuff, like learning like finite skills and like things, but there's also like some of those soft skills people talk about of like conversation and what's that like that emotional intelligence. I don't think you're really taught that. I think you experience it. And if you're locked in a closet,
that's fair. Yeah.
All your life,
so if you're surrounded by those people,
right?
That so if you're just surrounded by the people that have always been locked in that closet, it's hard for them to reach out.
Right.
But
or for people that talk all the time, because I know some families that I'm not gonna call anyone out, but like we know people that like they talk all the time because their family and their friends talk like constantly.
Yeah.
Now I don't really. To me, like, I don't really value that as much. That, like, because growing up, I didn't, like, talk all the time.
The
like,
people that... Oh, so you're talking about the people that aren't able to appreciate silence.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, that's the big part of it, is, like, appreciating silence. I appreciate silence so much because it says... I think it would, like, binary code, where people are, like... Some people are just 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, just
the entire time.
All the time. Like, you can't do that. No one can function that way.
I think that gets into a really deep conversation of just like level of comfortability, like with oneself. You haven't been, how you say?
Some people hate the like sitting with their own thoughts.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Like whether or not they're aware of those demons inside of them. They're just not comfortable enough to be able to sit back and like, they're not going to attack you every single time.
Right.
And I think that's a fear, and that's a legitimate fear. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, especially during this quarantine, man, I'm sure I know we live on different wavelengths. So you flourish during this quarantine time.
See, and that's the big thing is like I think people, especially like, I was going to like bring up the whole quarantine thing. Some people during this time have really had to sit with their own thoughts.
Yeah,
that's so uncomfortable for some people. Like you said, like I thrive in being able to like sit and think, and some people that's like their worst. That's like the worst thing. Yeah,
and there's people like me who's somewhere in the middle, who's like aware and takes time to be with their own thoughts, but can't be there too often because then it kind of cyclical nature of just getting deeper and deeper into rabbit holes of your own mind and not being able to come out of it, if you will, on the other side. But I definitely do take, like when we were teaching like at a normal capacity, I was taking, I would take some time here and there every 3-4 weeks to just be like, what's my life lately? That sucks. Let's think about that for a second.
Yeah, that's a little conversation I kind of started to have of like kind of like evaluate your life, like sit out and like write it out, like where are you at right now? Like that's something that's a hard little like thing. That's a hard little exercise to do.
Dude, I wrote out my life. I tried writing out my life once, and I think it was 2016. Is it 15 to 16 or 16 to 17? I can't remember which year it was. But that year was such a mess. I think I got to like, and I was just talking like big events.
Right.
I think I got to like April and I just got depressed. I was like, I need to, I'm good. I get it.
Well, like, and not even like doing like autobiographically. I'm talking more like as thinking more like, that's kind of like writing the past, but like writing the future. Like, what are your not necessarily like writing your goals, but like the way I put it is writing your roles. Like, what are you like on your gravestone or like on your website in like 50 years? What is it gonna say? Like who is it? Like, is it gonna be like Marcus Bonilla, percussion director, podcaster, chef? Like,
yeah, okay. I get what you're saying.
And the question is like, do you take those, or do you take it that seriously and just go like, no, it's just a thing I do. I don't have to write it down on my gravestone.
That's it. I don't think I've ever thought about it like that. I mean, obviously, I've had the thought process of the what's gonna be on your gravestone when you die. Um, one thing that messed me up on a side note was I was listening to one of these motivational videos, and the
You're
dude,
not working hard enough. Work harder.
yeah,
It's my.
yeah, but the dude was talking about it aggressive. It felt like a very sermon-esque. There wasn't a video of the dude that was doing it, but it felt like a black man at the front of the congregation, like,
I'll tell you.
just, but not in the angry way or like the evangelical way, just like your thoughts and ideas are gonna die with you, and those thoughts and ideas are gonna surround you on your deathbed. Now, which ones do you want to be there, and which ones do you not want to be there? What goals did you go unfinished? What thoughts became undone? Didn't not came undone. Didn't come to fruition. Like, those are the things that you're gonna die with.
Well, here's the interesting thing about that little. This comic, Mark Maron.
Yeah.
He was doing this bit about these little like note cards that he writes, and one of the note cards he had was, "Our entire lives will be immortalized as content." Like that is a scary thought. Like for now, especially like doing literally what we're doing now, like this is going to be.
I hate that. I hate that idea.
I mean, that's how things are going now with all the. I don't think anyone wants to. Like the way you were putting it was like having like a legacy, like having like something that will like live on for forever.
Yeah.
But now it's just kind of.
You're
content.
guaranteed. Yeah.
Yeah, like anyone can have a legacy.
Yeah.
Now. Like, do we want everyone to have a legacy? I don't think Andy Warhol. I think Andy Warhol was wrong. We all shouldn't get 15 minutes of fame. Like
That's fair.
some people
That's
should
fair.
not.
And I guess the argument would be, is that a bad thing?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, everyone now can kind of get 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
But I think that reduces exceptionalism and people being like truly good at something. I think of the amount of like people that are like famous for dancing now, like on TikTok and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Oh
Like-
my god, that makes me so angry. Oh my lord. Like there's some kid out there who's like, I think 15, 16, made a business off of teaching how to dance. I was watching some of his videos.
Garbage, right?
What?
Yeah.
I was doing that for fun 10 years ago,
Right.
12 years ago, whenever I was in high school. Like doing dance ciphers with my boy Jacob, shout out. Like, and this fool is making a business
Right.
off of doing that. Now, I appreciate that level of capitalism. I can't be mad at the kid.
Yeah.
To an extent, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody out here just grinding on something. But yeah, no, that makes me angry.
It gets to that point where it's like, is that grind even worth it anymore? Is it just like everyone's doing better, but at what cost? You know.
That's fair.
I think we somehow like got away from the idea of this person being good at this thing, rather than like everyone can be like good at almost everything. Like
I see what you're saying, but I think to a level there's still there will still be that level of exceptionalism.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Like, no matter what, LeBron James is gonna be
Right.
throwing down bombs.
Yeah, and I think you're still gonna get those like those top performers, and like well, there's also the thing of like, does that does having those like avenues of like everyone can be famous, does that promote more like people like from, because how many like you know, people say like how many LeBrons are there like in the hood right now, like
that's
just
true,
because they didn't get the opportunity
to go to school and blah blah blah,
or someone didn't like film them being like, you know, doing crazy dunks or whatever like that. Someone filmed LeBron James doing it, but the question, and now everyone can film everyone. So,
Yeah.
like,
So I think with the
like it's
allowance
helpful,
of everybody to be able to get a 15 minutes of fame, it then negates that statement of there's 50 LeBrons in the hood. You know what I mean? Because like
right.
we could see them now. Like if you look and like dudes are, you know, I wouldn't doubt if college coaches and people like that aren't like scouting
Yeah.
like these dunk leagues
Right.
to where it's like, oh, that kid, yeah, let's get him on board. Let's see what he can do. Let's see if he can actually throw down. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of them are flopping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the idea was that they just didn't get the right opportunities. And, you know, to an extent, that's fair. But then also, did they do enough back work to where when the opportunity presented to them, they were ready?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like the way my dad put it was like another like aspect of that is like coachability, being able to be coached.
That's a big thing.
Some people like they want to do it their way,
Mm-hmm.
and then when in like, I don't think not everyone can do the whole Iverson thing of like y'all are talking about practice. Like not everyone can say that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whenever you know you got some kid who wants to say y'all are talking about practice, you haven't reached that level yet.
And yeah, there's definitely a give and take. Well, and I mean the same thing with your boy Rodman. Like, shout out to the documentary. I don't know if you watched it or not, but I think everybody should be required to watch that. That documentary is just such a depiction of hard work and dedication. Whether or not you think Michael Jordan's a good guy or not.
Oops.
That's a different conversation.
Michael Johnson.
Oh my God. Michael B. Jordan.
It's the same guy, right?
Bodied up. Oh my God. Anyways, Jordan, whether or not you care for the dude or not, like, after watching the documentary, it's hard pressed to say anybody's close.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For him to like need to talk mess to himself from somebody else, so that way he can turn himself on to like, oh, it's time.
Get moving.
Yeah, like that's not a good trait in a human being. But he puts up 50 plus points in the game after he does that.
Right.
You know.
What are you?
You know, but then, yeah, with my point being on Rodman, you saw it. He so mad coachable when he gets to the Pistons.
Right.
Like, he's just like, oh my God, there's people that care about me.
Yeah.
Dope. What do you want me to do? Word.
You're gonna pay me how much to do this?
I get money to.
I'll do anything.
Big money. And then he goes to the Spurs and doesn't flourish too well because he gets locked into like this, you know, the Spurs dynamic of like, we play fundamentals.
There's no stars here.
There's no stars here. You will get your 15 points, your X amount of rebounds, X amount of assists.
Right.
You're guaranteed that, but you're not going to do anything fancy because you're going to do X, Y, and Z the way we do it.
Right.
And Rodman's not that type. But then he gets to Chicago, and what's the coach's name? I forgot his name. Whatever.
I forget my thought, man.
I can't remember, but I remember him saying, like, yo, that somebody going up to him being like, you can't, that's a, I think they said something along the lines of like, that's a Mustang. You don't put a saddle on him. Just let him, just let him go be Rodman. He's going to be wildin', but when you need him to show up to the game, he got you. And, you know, they highlighted that when he disappeared to Vegas and Jordan came and got him, and they thought he was going to be all dead on the inside, so they ran through workouts, and he's just hoofing through, just bodying everybody else on the team, just not able to keep up. Like, the kid knows how to work. He's going to work. Just let him do what he wants to do.
Right.
Because he has that level of coachability to where if you tell him what to do, he's going to do it. But then on the other side of it, the coach needs to know how to coach him properly.
Right. Because certain people they have their like they have their style, they have like what they do. I think it's a level of I mean, this is a weird thinking of like an artist versus a soldier. Like an artist, they have their own style,
Mm-hmm.
they have what they want to do. It's all, and then you have the soldier who does exactly what you tell them to do, and like almost to a fault.
Yeah. Okay.
And the question is like which. I think there's like two kinds of players, and that could be like, not only like basketball, like any sport, any like profession really. Like
Yeah.
there are two kinds of like people out there. I don't want to like generalize, but there are people that are artists that want to do their own thing, that want to like be a little different, and there are soldiers, and there are people that like can do like exactly what you tell them to, and they'll get it done.
Yeah.
And like there's nothing wrong with that. Like I definitely had those moments where like if people were like, hey, you need to get this done, all right, cool, I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
And like, there's also people that are balanced in between those things. I don't know.
And I mean, we were just talking about this earlier before we jumped on about the who we are as people, as far as what we need, like pre-performance.
Yeah.
Like you and I are both very much in the mindset. We're gonna go to the show. All right. Play good. Yeah. Duh.
Like it's almost like the first thought is I'm going to do this well. Like I don't need anyone to motivate me. It's just it's gonna be done well. I don't care.
Like it feels good.
Right.
It feels good to get that like the head coach, the head band director, like telling you to go get after it. Yeah. But like I was gonna go get after it regardless if you told me
right
or not. But then there are all those kids that that need that conversation beforehand to kind of like remind them like where they're at, the importance of what they're doing,
and that to me that's a self-esteem thing. I think
is it?
Yeah, like I think some people need to be told they're good at something. Because they don't think it. Like they don't think that they are good at this until someone's like, "Hey, you're good at this." Oh, I don't know if it's like literally like 1-to-1 self-esteem is to like motivation. That's an interesting like thought. Is like is self-esteem and motivation correlated? Like the more motivation you need, the lower your self-esteem is. Like
that'd be
the higher your self-esteem, do you need as much motivation? Not really.
Because I don't think like I'm by no means a great player, but I'm good at doing what I'm told. So but I don't need that motivation.
Right.
So like my self-esteem like as a individual isn't great, and I mean that shows fairly well as my performances as a solo artist, not super hot, but as a member of a larger group, killing it all day. Like you don't have to worry about me
right
on that level. I don't know, that's a good thing to chew on.
Yeah, that's I think we kind of, depending on kind of going back a couple of topics, like depending on what role you're in that moment, like you said, as an ensemble player, you don't need like your self-esteem is higher, so you don't need the motivation. But
That's fair.
When you go
actually,
to but as a solo performer, you are, or as a cook, or as as a bartender, or like like would you need that like for trivia? I wouldn't need it for trivia because I got huge self-esteem for trivia. Like
I got random banks that I'm unaware of that's I might be able to call upon, I might not be able to, but I know it's in there.
Right.
That's
But if someone was like, "Hey, I need you to talk in front of this entire," I know for me, if someone was like, "Hey, you need to go in front of the entire district and give a speech," I would need so much motivation. I would need someone to like literally push me out there, like, because I don't do well with the whole. Let me talk to a big crowd, and because to me that's kind of a.
But your money, as far as the solo performance though.
Mm, it depends on depending on the preparation. Like if I'm prepared to play something, yeah. Like I don't need I don't need someone to
That's
like.
interesting because I could talk. Like it might take me a couple seconds to like get into it. Like I definitely have that pre-anxiety of like getting up to the mic, and even talking about the concerts as a director. The first time is always a little shaky, but then after that, I'm coasting. It's easy.
You know what's the hard part for me? It's this part. The feet the fact that my voice is being projected through a microphone. That like secondary like this isn't just me like talking. It has to like come out
That
clear.
makes sense.
It
Okay.
has to be like focused and stuff like that. I think too much about the I always think about like post effects like when you're like working on like like how much reverb is in my voice like you can't literally put reverb on your voice but
Those are the things you're thinking about for
yeah.
whatever reason.
Yeah, like for some reason it does. Like I'm always like I mentioned earlier. I'm always thinking about like something.
Something's running through.
My brain is never unless I'm listening to someone. But even then, I'm usually listening with like kind of like going through the Rolodex of like what does that mean? Let me go through.
Yeah.
Kind of a drop down of like whatever they're talking about.
Doing like Google searches in your mind.
Basically,
as they're coming up, typing
I
in
got some
things,
real Minority Report stuff going on. It's like, whoa, don't let me be doing all that.
That's interesting. Yeah. Because even when I was prepared, like I was like just talking about senior recital, like I was super prepared for like all my.
I'm still
solos.
surprised you guys had to do senior recitals.
That blows my mind that you didn't. That
I guess it's because everyone at UNT doesn't have to do it, so it's like
no, dude, it's straight up requirement. Shout out Texas State. If you're a performance major, junior and senior, and depending on your lesson instructor, you might get a sophomore and a freshman. But education, you're required to do that senior recital, and I'd been working on that literature for a semester, and every single piece, as soon as I stepped into the board, I forgot everything. Just immediately. But once I got to the salsa portion of my recital, like I didn't even music. What are we playing? Yeah, I got that. That's banged to the memory from 5 months ago when I played it at this one gig. Like,
see, that's the like. This is kind of a weird topic, but like reading music, limits us so much. Because I know
go on that.
I definitely, if I'm reading like music, I'm thinking about it and I'm going through it. Like I'm like doing like analysis and all that stuff like through my head. If I'm just playing like off the cuff, usually ends up better. Or like playing more like people call it like playing from the heart. Like I think there's a difference between like to me the best artist, they don't need music. They don't need like music right in front of them to actually like play. Some people need it. Some people like I mean I'm definitely still at that point where I need music in front of me. I'm still gonna play like pretty well, but
do you think that little extra piece, that
A
plus, you're not gonna get it?
Not until I well that's a whole like
it's a whole different.
That's a whole like inadequacy of me is like my like I don't practice to memorize. So like whenever I like perform something, I don't have it memorized. I've only memorized. I've played about 30 pieces of music, like solo literature. Memorized about 2 of them.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that blows my mind. It's like an unspoken requirement in the percussion world.
Right. Yeah. In the percussion world, I mean, for us, we put the stand right in front of us, and you read the notes, and like there's no memorization to it. It's like
that's crazy.
Well, because I think like the way percussionists and the way certain musicians play, like string players, you guys play by feel. You guys play by feel, and especially for like, well, I shouldn't put it that way, because I was gonna say like improvisers play by theory, but we don't play by theory. see,
I mean, there's a level to it,
like
of theory. Yeah.
When
I get what
I
you're saying.
when I improvise though, I don't need music. Like my best improvisation is when I'm just like going like I know the changes and stuff like that. Like I know what I'm supposed to be playing.
Yeah.
But if I'm like really getting after it, like I did this thing a couple of weeks ago, where I had heard about this and I practiced it a little bit, but I made my saxophone laugh.
What?
It's this weird high effect, or you actually make it sound like it's laughing.
That like Leo P.
No, well, yeah,
Deal?
yeah, kind of, yeah. That's that kind of like pitch bending stuff. Well, it's more of a trill kind of thing. It's so weird.
Huh.
But I did it like without thinking about it. Like I did it kind of like I want this right now.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so I did it that way, and that's when I feel like the best about my playing is when I'm just like.
That's fair. I mean, I'm ooh, don't mean to punch the mic. I'm in the same boat for sure, and I think
that's the level of like artistry, like where you have like the artist versus the soldier.
Yeah.
That's the artistry, is like when you can just like do something because you want to do it. And I think people that memorize music, I'm not an artist when it comes to music. I'm a soldier. I play what the composer said.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, but I think that's my issue, because I can do marching all day, because I can compartmentalize that. Boom, soldier,
Right.
easy. I play on downbeat, 16 note, on the upbeat of 3. You know, like I get that. Like, no big deal. And then on the other side of that, when I was doing salsa gigs, brass band gigs, it was just like just like, what's
Right.
boy over there saying, that he's soloing behind me, so I got to do this, lay it back a little bit, and then okay, he's giving me a little bit more in his solo, so I'll back him up a little bit more. So that's that artist side of things, and I guess I just didn't figure out where to put that like solo marimba vibraphone.
Like into that kind of playing. Where
Yeah,
it's just,
like I
free.
couldn't figure out, like I think I tried doing the soldier thing with that, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
And then I think I tried doing the artist thing, and it didn't work out either. So like I
Right.
didn't know what to do with it, and it was just mediocre at
Right.
the end of
Like
it.
it kind of ends up paralyzing of like, do I like play freely? Do I play with emotion? Like that's to me that's the crux of a lot of like modern music education is. I don't want to make this like a music education podcast. You can relate it to anything, but the idea of do we teach like anyone to do anything for like say it's like comedy. Do you, if you're teaching someone comedy, do you teach them here's how to set up a joke, here's how a punchline works, and here's like follow through the bit, and like do you teach them structure, or do you teach them like if you want like cooking too, like do you teach the recipe, or do you teach like flavor, like
Yeah.
like which one do you go for? I think one is more effective in like getting fast results, and getting results that typically end up better. And then the other one, you get like exceptionalism. You get people that are actually good at stuff.
I'm sure there's people out there that would argue though that just keeping this for the purpose of keeping the conversation like being able to understand between the soldier and the artist.
Yeah.
I would say that there is people out there that would believe that once you get to a certain level of soldier, then you're allowed to be an artist.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You get to that, like if you want to put it that way, like you get to the point of like being like a general.
Yeah.
You're like doing like strategic, like
you're free to make whatever call you want.
Right.
Once you make that top rank.
Right.
But you're fresh to the system.
If you're a private, you're not
not doing anything.
You're just trying to make it.
I don't know if private's the right word, but anyway, first week of boot camp.
Right. Oh, you're talking about
You ain't saying nothing. You just graduated from boot camp, congrats. You still ain't saying nothing.
Right.
Like you're just doing what you're told. And then eventually you move up, and then like you said,
yeah,
you get to that point where it's like you're making all the calls for everything, for everyone. But do you have to do that?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Like I don't, because I think you need, like, to me, this sounds so like flighty and stupid, but in a society,
great way to start a sentence.
I know, right? It's like so freaking sophomoric. You need like a top ranking general. Like you need those top people for structure and order and all those things to like government. You can think of it that way.
Yeah.
Like you need government for things to function. But also, you need the epitome of culture. You need like your Banksy. You need your I'm trying to think of like a Wolfgang Puck. You like you need that stuff for culture.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the culture doesn't. Like you need your John Coltrane's. Like you need that stuff in order for things to progress, like culture wise. Because if you just had your generals, your if you want to like relate it to music, if you just had like people teaching like off the page and like, can you sight read very well? Like the fact that we spend so much time on like, can you sight read very well versus can you play Happy Birthday? It's like, which one do you want? Do you want everyone that can play songs and stuff like that? Because personally, like me, I can't play every song in the book. Should be able to. Like, I think a lot of people expect musicians to be able to. Like you know those the piano bar gig we go to. Like, I couldn't do that at all.
Oh, dude, shout out! Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot his name. I'm so sorry. I used to gig with him. He was a trombone player, and he got a piano bar gig. I think he's at Holla at the Moon. I'm sure his name's going to come to me in like 5 minutes from now.
You'll remember it.
But yeah, he would just sit down, literally like any song, bro. He just knew it.
Right.
He just knew it. And the first experience I ever had with that was my boy Juan Hernandez in high school. And we would go around, and he was an orchestra kid to play guitar, and he eventually got to this point where people knew that he would sing a song, and so like people would try to trip him up and be like, "You know this one?" And like I'd be like, I have no idea. But then he would just start playing, and I'm like, "Word? How do you? Okay, cool, man." But what was wild, he was also an orchestra kid, so he knew the page as well. So it's like,
see, like,
who's the better musician?
Right. Like,
who's the better musician? The kid
that can sight read like out the butt, just like insanely good at reading music, or the kid that can play any song you like want him to, like. But you know, what if he can't read at all? What if he can't read music? Because there's like lots of guitarists that are like they're killing, like they can noodle, play pentatonic scales, all that stuff. But you put a piece of music in front of them and they go,
no idea. Yeah, I got a boy from high school, Alex. He monster guitar player. Just one of like the first kids. Him and my boy Hector. They're just the first two kids that like I really saw like intricacies of guitar. Like before, like I just listened to Sweet Child of Mine, like dope. But I didn't really register what that meant. Yeah,
there's all kinds of voicings.
Until my boy Hector played it. When we played it for the talent show, and I was just like, damn, that's, you learned that by ear?
Right.
What you mean you learned that by ear? Like that I couldn't grasp that concept. But
because that's not the way we were taught music.
But on the flip side, I can give you a backbeat all day. I don't know anything about fills. I'm garbage at doing drum set fills. But I can tell if you're playing like some Alicia Keys, bro, I know how to just sit there.
You can pull it out,
and just lay back and make sure that I'm not getting in the way and I'm not messing up time. I got that all day. But if you're trying to get me to play like some Chon song, I ain't got that kind of technique where I'm doing 7/11 with my hands and then my feet are doing 60 notes every third beat. Like,
right.
But that's a good,
See, it makes me wonder, like, with all that, I'm like swatting at flies.
Oh man, yeah, this fruit flies. That's some dang bananas.
Like, it also makes me wonder, like, is what we're talking about. Just complete and utter garbage, and we just need to go practice.
Yeah, dude.
Like that's the people talk about like there's like two sides to every argument, or there's only one side and everyone else is just like arguing over like
Just
minutia.
Yeah, talking garbage.
Like is it even like the conversation that we're having? Is it even worth it, or should we just like shut up and go practice? Like, or should people like, politically, should people just like be a good person, or should we like, I was listening to the news and I was listening to NPR this morning, and it leans pretty left, but they try to be kind of like central. Like
they do their best.
Yeah, they try to be as central as possible, and like I would love for news to be like that. Just tell me what happened. Don't give me like your opinion on it, or this thing is bad or it's good. I want to know
what it is.
Right. I want to know what it is. And I think people got so into the idea of there has to be two sides. There has to be this duality. There has to be the soldier and the artist. Or it could just be just music. Yeah. Or it's just like politics or whatever it is.
I don't know, man. It's a tough that musician artist the musician soldier thing. That's such a like you said, it's a loaded conversation amongst every topic. Probably.
Oh right, yeah. I mean, like you can sit with a chef and be like, "Hey, so do you need to go to French Culinary School and like learn like French techniques and get out your tweezers and like adjust your garnishes and all that stuff? Do you need to know that, or do you just need to know how to make like gumbo? Like, like dude, which one's
dude?
Like which one's gonna be more worth it? Like,
if gun to my head, you gave me a choice to go to French Culinary School or go to Mexico,
right?
And just live with somebody's grandma.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna go live with that grandma, dude.
Like,
she probably doesn't got a measuring cup in her house in a single drawer. She probably got like a coffee mug. And it's like
that's a hard thing, man.
Full mug of this,
right?
Half mug of that, a little bit of this.
Just a pinch. Like, what is a pinch?
I don't know what a pinch is,
Do you pinch
but she did it,
right? Like,
and it tastes great. But then you go to French Culinary School and you learn, like the difference between a dice and a julienne cut, and then. And we talk about we both watched Ugly Delicious.
Yeah.
And even who is it? Roy Choi?
Yeah. Ray Chin.
Ray Chin.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's
you just put.
Is that racist?
Maybe.
Maybe. My bad.
No, whatever.
But he. I don't remember what it was. The episode where they were showing love to the food critic that had died.
Oh, wait, the Anthony Bourdain episode? Or?
No, not Anthony Bourdain. He was the. It started out with the white lady making the pies. It was a white lady making pies, and then I think she was Vietnamese or Korean, making her respective culture dishes.
Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Who is it? Ray.
Yeah,
Ray went to that French Culinary School. This other girl just grew up cooking with mom,
right?
And he was commenting on it like everything she does, cutting wise, prepping wise, is the 100% opposite,
right,
from what I was taught.
Right.
He makes a dish, it's delicious. She makes a dish, it's delicious.
So why even argue?
What does it matter? Right? Like. I hate the people that like talk mess about those piano bar guys, like those musicians that talk mess about the piano bar guys.
They're playing a couple of like 4-chord songs, but you can't do that.
You can't do that, dog. Like, congratulations, you can play every single one of Bach's
right.
Not interludes, inventions.
Yeah, like you play the entire like 2-part invention like book.
Well done.
Off the top of your head, great.
This guy just played a 4-hour set.
Right. Playing any song
that was told to him.
He played Colt 45 like
yeah, and he was drinking.
Right.
So arguably he should have gotten worse.
Right.
But he got better. And I'm not taking anything away from you, dog.
Or maybe we were drinking.
Or maybe either way, it was a good time.
Right.
9 times out of 10, people are going to enjoy the piano bar guy versus the inventions guy. Nothing to take against away from the inventions guy. You and I know we can appreciate the level of practice that it takes and
the phrasing, like all that stuff.
Yeah,
like,
you know, when like Bach, shout out to the OG. King of music, that's a different conversation for a different day.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could run everything back to Bach.
Right.
I feel like you could argue. So good job, homie.
Like you played that soldier role to the full extent.
Well done. Proud of you. Proud of you, dog.
You hit general levels.
I couldn't do that.
Right.
But on the same token, I can't do what homeboy over here did.
Right.
At the piano bar.
So
and I think he had more fun. Let's be real. I think he enjoyed it more. I think he enjoyed learning those songs more.
You think so?
I think so, man. Because I hate, dude. You telling me you enjoy going sitting in the practice room and repping a bar at a time? I mean, maybe you do. Maybe you do, but like...
No, because when I... No, I don't enjoy going like a bar. That's a percussionist thing. I don't
maybe.
I don't
You're right. Okay.
Like I practice in like a little longer phrases, like 16 bars phrases.
I wish, man.
Yeah, that's how you get your breathing right. You don't have to breathe.
Fair. Yeah, you ain't got to breathe.
Like,
you got to figure out the comfortability between
right.
going from the low C and the 5-octave marimba and pulling it in.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right there.
Must be nice.
But like I do enjoy like at being a classic, like, because especially like being a saxophone player, being a classical and jazz saxophone player, I do enjoy like playing a piece of music that someone wrote, and I enjoy playing it really well. Like, putting my own, either my own spin on it, or like hey, you played this like a little bit faster than like what it's supposed to go to, or a little bit slower. Like I enjoy that kind of like level of interpretation.
Okay.
And I think some of the music, I think what the intention of like a lot of classical music is, we've essentially written down what were improvisations, or we've used
okay.
Like I'm thinking like of like the Bach cello suites, where those things almost sound improvised sometimes, where it's like them just kind of like making up what kind of comes next. There's some form to it, like they kind of follow like a structure, but there's definitely like that idea of like
yeah.
Like
I see what you're saying.
We've written down and passed down these like written down improvisations. So like I enjoy that aspect of it, of getting to that level of doing this thing on this like high art level is awesome. But then there's also like, I do, as much as I hate it, as much as I hate saying it, I love like playing pop gigs.
Dude,
just playing like,
they're just fun, bro.
Like it's so much fun just being like, I'm just gonna let loose and like just do what I want to. Like it's kind of like, if I relate to like comedy, like you can tell, you know, that that joke of I don't even know if can I. I'm gonna go and say it anyway.
Just don't call anybody out, bro.
Yeah, no, I won't call anyone out. It's just a really like short joke of I want to jizz in my palm and go to a palm reader and say, "What does this mean?" Like, see how like
what?
That's Hannibal Buress, man. Like,
of course it's Hannibal Buress.
It's so
oh my god,
dumb and like a low rant and just like it's the equivalent of like a fart joke. Like it's just it's nothing. But there's also like those deep, like when we went to see Brian Callen, like that deep, like we really got into it. It was still funny, but like we got into like some deep topics.
Fair. Yeah.
Like, so the question is like, do you just go up on stage and tell all of your like all your jizz in the hand jokes, or do you tell like, you know, some really deep stories? Like think of have you ever seen Mike Birbiglia?
Yeah.
He gets really deep, and there's moments in the show.
He goes like 10-15 minutes without a laugh.
Right. Yeah. There's moments in the shows where it's just quiet.
Yeah.
Everyone's just sitting there. He just told something really like dark and dramatic, and you're just like, whoa. Like, do you do that, or do you just tell like Chris D'Elia, like, just I farted. Like, do you, like, which side do you pick? Or do you even pick a side and just do what works for you?
I think the problem is that, I mean, as it is with politics, as it is with everything, people pick a side, and that's the only side that's right. And they refuse to understand, appreciate, acknowledge the greatness of the other side.
Yeah.
Right? You know how hard it is for Anthony Jeselnik to sit up on a stage for an hour and just say one-liners?
Right.
Each bit is all of 20 seconds?
Right.
That's so much material.
Right.
And then, like you said, Mike Birbiglia, he can just go on a 15-minute rant.
Right. These long stories that, like,
just long stories. But why do you have to say one is better than the other? They're both stupid talented.
Right.
And they both do what they're supposed to. You go to each one of their shows, you sit down, you laugh, you go home.
Right. Like, regardless of, like, what you...
Oh my God. Wires everywhere.
It's all looped in there.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Yeah, like, regardless of what you want to, like, think about it, like, it's still going to be funny.
It's still going to be funny.
Like, and some people, they get in the mode of, like, I don't like this, because I'm that way with, like, Anthony Jeselnik, where I'm sure if I heard another comic say that exact same joke that he just said, it would have been, if I heard Patton Oswalt say one of his jokes, I would have died on the floor.
Yeah.
But because I have this, like, pre-assumed, like, thing of, like, Anthony Jeselnik is an asshole. He's not really an asshole. But that's just his joke persona is that. Is that thing. And, like, you know, that's me kind of pointing out my own faults of, like, I definitely sometimes don't see the other side of things. When I see someone, like, cock their eyebrow and people are like, that's hilarious. I'm like, it's not funny. Why do you think that was funny?
What about that made it so funny, huh?
Like, that didn't make it funnier by them doing this.
Yeah.
Like, mostly because I can't do it. I'm just jealous.
Yeah, dude, it's weird. It's weird and it's frustrating, and I think our profession is probably one of the worst ones about it.
Right.
I mean, next to politics.
Yeah.
As far as the
be on two sides of things, where and as it is with most things, it's usually just one-sided. Like, I don't think I've ever talked to anybody that runs the piano bar gig that's like, homie over there learning all that Mozart. What a kook. Right.
Like, most of the time, like, oh, he's another musician. Dope. What do you do? Classical. Bro, congrats.
Well, sometimes, I definitely have, like, I've gotten what they call getting vibed in the jazz world of, like, oh, you're a classical player? Like, or they call it, like, I see
what you're saying, yeah.
Playing legit playing. It's like, oh, you're playing, you're doing legit playing. It's like, oh, like, there's definitely some of that, like, where it gets from that other side of, like you don't know how to play your instrument because you don't know how to not read music. It's like, no, I know how to not read music. Like,
yeah.
Like, granted, I wasn't taught that way, like, from the
jump. Yeah.
From the beginning, I was, like, taught music from the page, like.
Set that with your essential elements.
Yeah.
Learned that. What is it? Is it F for y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah, F.
Well, no. We're doing it.
What's y'all's first key?
Well, we learned that the first note is D, which is stupid.
Okay. That's right, backfed.
Yes, yeah, 6 fingers for some reason that we start on 6 fingers.
Yeah. Let's get all the individual muscular structure all done at the same time instead of just going, one finger at a time. Whatever. Essential elements. It's not perfect.
Things are bad. Yeah.
There's no beginner book that's perfect, but again, that's a topic for a different day. Yeah, dude, it's percussion is pretty bad about that as well. Shit, dude, it might be worse.
I would say because that's kind of the way you teach is like the way. Well, the way you teach is like you teach kind of
Me
you teach
personally, I'm an anomaly.
well, because you teach fundamentals.
Yeah.
And I think, that could be the third side. Like you have the like the person that's gonna read like what's on the page. You have the person who's gonna play whatever they want to. And you have the person that's really good at it. Like
okay. I see what you're saying.
Like I wonder if that's really the best guy is the guy who just like can kind of he doesn't try to do it all but can do it all. Like the way my favorite saxophone player in the country, Eugene Rousseau.
Shout out
to Eugene Rousseau.
Don't know who that is, but I'm sure I've heard him.
He's the father of American saxophone, as they call him.
Gang.
But he did this one master class where he was playing on his classical mouthpiece, and he also had like his company made like a jazz mouthpiece.
Okay.
He was like, all right, everyone close your eyes. I'm gonna play either on my classical mouthpiece or my jazz mouthpiece. I want you to tell me which one I'm gonna play on.
Oh man.
He starts with a mouthpiece. He's making kind of a classical sound. Everyone's like, cool, classical. All right. I'm going to switch the mouthpiece. Takes the time, switch the mouthpiece. Everyone saw his eyes closed and whatnot. Plays again. It's this great jazz sound. Like, he's mainly a classical saxophonist, but he can do both. Like he was
I mean, again, as a saxophonist, at some level, you got to be able to do both.
Yeah, you're kind of taught to do both. And then everyone like, all right, opens their eyes. All right, so which mouthpiece was the first one? Classical. Everyone agrees, classical. Which mouthpiece was the second one? Everyone's like, jazz. No, classical.
Damn.
Like, he was so good at all of this stuff.
Creating that timbre, creating that texture.
Right. He was so good at, like, if you want to think of it like comedy, like he was so good at, he delivered somehow through the same like structure of a joke, he delivered through two different messages. Like one message was about like, about politics or whatever. The other one was about farting. Like same structure of joke. Same like, like almost played like the same like thing, but like whole different like message. And I think that might be the third side of it is like
that might be the third side
like,
of it.
do you just get good at what you do?
Just get good at the instrument.
Right. Like do you have to like, and some people, it works better for them if they like go to the French Culinary School and they like work on their julienne and they get the tweezers out and it's all like perfect. And some people it works if you just like hack at it and just
chop some things up, throw it in the pot, throw some other things. Yeah.
Right. So like, do you even worry about those sides and just focus on like, I'm just gonna cook.
Just the fundamental. Yeah, just cook,
like,
bro.
I'm just gonna cook and
just figure out what tastes good.
I'm just gonna make eggs. Like imagine like someone taught you how to make eggs. Versus like what if like a French culinary school taught you how to make eggs, or your mom taught you how to make eggs, or you taught yourself how to make eggs? Which one's gonna turn out better? And you had to like give those eggs to people.
I mean, shoot.
Because your mom could make crap eggs.
She could. And there's a lot of people, and that's the downside of a lot of people. They think they learn how to cook,
or they think they have their politics right, or they have their like.
Because that's what mom and dad said. That's what Unc said. That's what
the recording said. Yeah. Whatever they went like learn something from a recording.
Well, see then. Okay. I'm on board with what you're saying, but
I keep
naturally
doing all these different analogies. But I think it's a universal concept.
I'm gonna try to poke holes.
Yeah, as you do.
Who teaches you that fundamental? How do you find that person to trust on that fundamental? That's the hard part, right?
That's what our job is.
That's what our job is. Like, but I mean, we even amongst us and our friends and our colleagues, they all teach at a different level. Each person, I don't want to say different level, different style amongst the three.
See, I think peak teaching though, like teaching is teaching to. The ability, like the way Mike Pope, he teaches at Carmel.
Okay. Shout out Carmel.
Carmel in Indiana.
One of the best marching bands in the country. Oh my God.
So good. The way he puts it is he wants a band that can play.
Yeah.
Like Holst First Suite. He wants a band that can play Holst First Suite rather than his band's going to play Holst First Suite. He would rather the musicians in the band be capable of doing that.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
That's what I think peak teaching is. I think that's what peak people are. Like if we have those like soldier artists and the
fundamental.
Yeah, the fundamental, like the fundamentalist. I don't want to put it that way, but like that to me, like as a teacher, that's my goal. Is to just get someone that can do it. I don't care what you do with it.
Just here's this information.
Right.
What you do with it after this, up to you, dog.
Right. If you
just go forth and do something.
Work on the Goldberg variations and like be an amazing classical pianist, go ahead, do that. If you want to like play at a piano bar and just like I learned how to do this at school, cool. But to me, that's my that's.
I agree. I 100% agree. I think that's what the goal should be. And where do you? Okay. I mean, I kind of know the answer, but I want to know what your input is. Why doesn't that happen with every educator?
We get obsessed in our own thing.
Right. Okay.
Like I think, like I talk about peak teaching because I'm not a peak teacher. Because I think I get obsessed with.
By no means, yeah. Neither am I.
I get obsessed with the idea of this is how you do it, and I get very French Culinary School about it.
Yeah,
It's This is how you do it, and if you do it any other way, it's wrong. And I'm going to teach you how to play this piece of music exactly the way it's written, and you're not going to do anything different. Like that's how it goes. I think certain teachers, they teach very to where it's like, no, we're just gonna like make up something and
just play, bro.
But you also get kids that are like from those programs that are like monster improvisers that can do like all kinds of amazing things. So it's like, I think whenever you reach that peak level is like you have kids that can do both sides of things. They can play. They're monster improvisers. They're artists. Yeah. But they are also great band people. They're great citizens. They're great
Now. Here's the rough one.
The big one.
Is it because the teacher is lazy?
No, because you can be. You see that in politics. You can be opinionated and be really hardworking in your opinions. Some people will work insanely hard for their side. Like they'll work.
That's fair.
They'll work insanely hard for. If you're like a top level general, you are like everyone should go through the army.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't think in this portion of the conversation we can talk about other jobs, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
So just talking straight music.
Okay.
You got to put a lot of work in order to understand the French side of things, understand the musician side of things. You've had to have done both and studied the instrument a lot as it is in order for you to be able to teach that fundamental properly.
Right.
That's why I'm saying, do you think it's because the reason why all the band directors, all the educators are like that is because they don't want to put forth that work?
I mean, yeah, like I don't, and this is a whole nother like topic, but I think especially as like young people, we are so into the idea of there's more to my job than what I'm doing right now. Like I think this is something I've like kind of seen as like people complain about their jobs, and usually they complain about their jobs in any aspect is because the person that like isn't working as hard, they have kids, they have a whole nother life. So like to a certain extent, I think it is if you wanted to be like entirely invested. But then again, there are people that are successful that have kids and they have like a healthy relationship and all that stuff. I don't know if that's like all hard work. Maybe it is. Maybe it's just they have worked so much harder for what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
in order to get to the level of success that they're at. Like,
Yeah.
Like that level of that. I don't know if. Yeah, I think that level of hard work equals that success. Or if you like, put in like solo preparation, like the level of preparation equals your like success.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like on the stage. I think that's a skill a lot of people don't really. Not a skill. That's a fundamental that a lot of people aren't really interested in. And that like idea of like you have to work very hard for this.
Yeah. Well, I guess on the flip side of that is, should they have to? Should every educator have to do that level of work?
Should we get to people to the point of like, you understand music, so like fundamentally, like you understand the form of it's a philosophical concept from like Aristotle of the idea of like forms, like these like perfect, what is considered the perfect thing. Like as an educator, our my goal as an educator is to show people in as true as possible as I can that like form of music. Like here is music.
Yeah.
like, let me just like hold it out there. I'm holding like sound. It's a weird like concept, but like that's my goal is to like as an educator. I think that's what the hardest like, and that's really hard work.
Yeah.
It's really hard work.
Yeah.
Getting down into like exactly what it is, like truthfully. That's a hard thing to get down to. But it's also easy to just like, kind of going back to our first conversation of like the whole idea of like conversation. You can you can swim on top of the water
all day. Yeah.
You can swim on, like, you can do that all day. It's so easy. It's so easy to teach on that like surface level of like,
it's nice.
I'm gonna teach this like music, or
they're still gonna do it,
right? Like you can do that all day, or you can scuba dive.
You can put in that work.
You can go all the way down to the depths and really get to it.
Now, I guess the argument would be on the other side. When you scuba dive, you're doing that for 1 to 3 kids.
Yeah, and that's the thing of like,
which I don't mean to cut you off, but like, which is fundamentally what I disagree upon. Because I mean, you've seen my 6th grade classroom, as well as you've seen me run marching band rehearsals. I don't really care who you are,
right?
What you've done, what you haven't done. Day one is day one. Right. We're gonna learn how to take that first step.
Right.
You're gonna learn how to sit in the chair.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn how to open up the thing.
So beginners,
yeah. When you get 2 minutes, you get 2 minutes to get set up.
Right.
And that's it. If you don't do it in 2 minutes, we're gonna pack it up,
so
and you're gonna put it away.
That equalization.
We're gonna try it again.
Yeah.
Now, am I doing a disservice to my students on some level by not allowing them to have that creative freedom? Am I doing them some disservice by not teaching them from the book 100% as it's written?
Here's what you do. Your idea is you create a level playing field.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone can do it. Everyone can do this. To me, the hard work and the where people could like consider like, this guy's mean, is you raise the playing field.
Okay. Go on that.
Like you take that idea of, if you take the idea of like, a musician that one guy can play any song you want him to, one guy can play like the entire like of the entirety of the 2-part Inventions by Bach.
Yeah.
At a very base level, like teaching music, like at a very like base level, you can teach kind of on both of those things. Very surface level, you get 2 minutes to set up structure, and you get like, I'm gonna teach you music.
Yeah.
which can be kind of a freeing thing sometimes. Just getting to do music. That's like at the bottom level, and then as time goes on, you keep raising that bar.
Okay.
You keep raising that. That's what going to the next grade is. You keep raising that bar
of the
expectation. Now, at what point does that bar tilt? I don't know. Like, like at what point do you go like, okay, you're just a better improviser than you are like reader, so I'm just let you.
Just gonna feed you that.
Right. I think that's the but I think whatever like axis is holding that together, that's the level of work you're gonna do. Is like, you know. Like,
Okay, I see what you're saying. So you got those 3 pillars, and let's just put that fundamental in the middle.
right.
Art and soldier.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
that. So no matter what, like that axis is still gonna go up, but just by nature of who you are as a person, like you're still gonna like.
Yeah. Eventually, these
By 10th grade, you're gonna have that 10th grade level of work.
right. And the expectation is that
It's still like I'm expecting the same thing from my jazz kid,
right.
as I am from my kid that's trying to get that state bounds.
Right.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
And to me, that's the like that middle pillar is the that's the hard work that a lot of people are missing, because a lot of people want to teach the both sides. They want to teach the one side or the other.
yeah.
They want to teach to, you know, that like in that as that goes on, that middle part is going to be shorter. Like it's going to be shorter regardless of like because you want to teach to a higher level on this end.
Yeah,
It's going to be shorter.
and I mean you have to account for that, but due to natural talent.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know I was talented at salsa until I did it.
Right. So you got to that, like, I mean, when did you start playing? Like,
I didn't like. I messed around in high school. Like I was like super into it because I grew up as a salsa dancer, and I was like, all right, bet. Like if I could dance to it, I really like. I enjoy the music when I dance to it. So if I get the opportunity to play it, I'm down. So we did those like perk ensembles of like La Vida es un Carnaval, and I was playing like conga on it. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was like, hey, like I'm having a blast, bro. Back then, I don't know what I'm doing. My director was kind of like, bro, just playing time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's all right. But then I went to Texas State, and for like 3 years, I just didn't do the salsa program because then you get in that loop of you could only be in the program if you know the structure.
Right.
But the only way you know the structure is if you're in the program.
Yeah.
Eventually, I got in. Shout out to my boy Pete Rodriguez. He was the one that let me do it. He let me come in on accessory to playing Guido for solid hours straight. But I was able to. But because of that, I was able to appreciate the music more because I didn't have to I know how to stay in time. I've been staying in time my entire life, bro. Marching band, drums. Come on, bro. I got the quarter beat. You tell me what the quarter beat is, I'm gonna stay right there.
Right.
Okay. I get to appreciate what the montuno is doing, or the piano player is doing with the montuno. What's the bass player doing? Oh, he flipped styles halfway through the song. That's dope. Okay. I'm checking out. Oh, that hit was
right.
I'm able to appreciate that to a specific level because I didn't have to worry about the fundamental.
Right.
Time.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's what I really appreciate. More made up words with Marcus.
Sounds grosser than
I don't like that. Yeah. Appreciate about the Latin culture and what I'm familiar with it. And Sammy Rodriguez, he was telling me about that when I was taking private lessons with him, that you start learning how to play the music when you're like 3 or 4, bro.
Right.
Like
it's a part of like what
it's part of your culture.
Right.
Like that's what you do. So when you're 3 or 4, I can't remember. I'm not even gonna try to attempt all the names on everything.
Yeah.
But you get some sticks, and you're playing time.
Right.
On the shell of a drum that somebody else is playing.
Like you learn a clave, like you learn all that stuff.
You just learn like you're just doing 60 notes. Right. It's the entire time, and that's what you do. You do that until you're 8. All right, cool, bro. You get to graduate. You get to go to bongo.
That's that fundamental.
Yeah, it's that fundamental.
Of
is that why I teach like that?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Because I didn't learn like that to an extent because I just went from Guido to conga and then that was my lane.
you wanted to like ideally the idea. I think everybody wants to know. They want to have an intimate relationship with what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think that fundamental creates an intimate relationship with what you're doing. Whether it be like being a percussionist or like playing like saxophone for me.
Yeah.
Like being able to understand what you're doing rather than like, because I think all those top players, they understand both sides. Like
That's true.
They know what's going on. Can they do it? Like, can they like physically do it?
Yeah.
No, and that's why we study music, is because we study music so that we can understand,
to learn about that level.
Yeah, to learn about that level of like and to push it. Like whenever we get into like the classroom, we learn to push that level of like fundamental skill. So once you get to that, like, you know, like you said, like 10th grade is that peak.
Yeah.
Ideally, you would want it to be like, you know, you're pushing all the way through. Some people, they only push to like 8th grade, and it's like
they bow out.
Right, you just let it go either way. But I was asking the question of, what do you like? We were trying to define, like, we kind of came up with the idea of like soldier and artist. What do you call that middle? Like, it's kind of the idea of like, you know, you got your Republicans and your Democrats, moderates. Like what? Like that has no like substance to it. Like, do you?
I like fundamental, man. I like that term, fundamental.
Okay.
Just because that's what it is, man. It's
right.
like, if you're talking about politics, people that are about that, it's like, and we've talked about this a couple times, where a vast majority of people are in the middle, and there's one or two topics in which makes them, okay, I guess I'll be a Republican, I guess I'll be the Democrat, but fundamentally, they're just good people.
Right.
And fundamentally, as a musician, you just know how to make people enjoy music.
Right.
As a dancer, you enjoy how, like,
you understand your body, like there's you don't. And I think that's the like whenever you get to that top level, that's what they're most appreciative on both sides of like man, this guy really knows how to like I'm thinking of like piano players. Like you got like two of the most like celebrated piano players of the 20th century, Glenn Gould and Bill Evans. Like Bill Evans, crazy jazz pianist. Yeah. Amazing. Like, insanely good. Like his lines just had amazing counterpoint, all this stuff. Glenn Gould, incredible interpreter of Bach. Like had it
really okay.
He's great like interpretations of, but both of them were like still great pianists.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they're
like,
just good.
Right.
They're just, you enjoy them.
Like they're both like they have an intimate knowledge of the piano, regardless of like where you.
Just because it's a different knowledge doesn't mean it takes away from their knowledge.
Right.
And I think that's the problem that a lot of people have, is that they get so stuck in their views because that's the way they were taught, that's the way they grew up, that's blah blah blah, that they aren't open enough to again acknowledge the greatness of the other person.
Right.
Like
acknowledge the side of, like, you know, if we want to like talk like more broadly, like the whole like Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter. On the All Lives Matter side, could you appreciate the fact that these people care so much about other people? Could you try that for a second?
Just a little bit. Everybody's trying to get to here, bro. Like everybody's trying to get.
We're trying to get
All
to the
Lives
point.
Matter.
Like we're just acknowledging the fact that they don't currently all matter to the extent that like we want them to.
Shout out to Michael Che.
Like seriously, like just matters.
Just matters.
Like that's what we're arguing about. We're arguing about the fact that like people are on this side are like dying, or like you have, you know, whatever like topic you want to put it on. People don't want to acknowledge it because it's different, or it's like, I mean, if we were really like this trying to reach this like utopia level of like society, we would all be like, we would all be acknowledging like these topics as bigger than ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's the whole thing of like the mass thing.
The mass thing as well. Yeah.
we were like, don't wear a mask because they're like, I can't breathe, and like me.
Yeah.
Or there's like people that are on this side that are like, my grandma, I see her like every week, so I need you to wear a mask to protect my grandma.
Trying to make sure she don't die, bro.
Right. Or like, so like the question is like, do you like, or can we acknowledge the fact that we have a coronavirus like thing like going on? Like, can we just acknowledge that fundamentally? Is that
again fundamental,
like,
dude?
we have that going on, so can we just acknowledge that rather than being like, it's not real, or like it's affecting like can we just acknowledge the fact that this is going to suck for a little bit?
Yeah. And like you said, dude, what you wish your news was.
Right.
It's, bro, what you need, what I need, or what the damn world needs. It's just like, bro, we don't really know what's going on. But we're pretty sure the mask is going to save some lives.
Like, hey,
just wear a damn mask.
Like, let me give you the science on this. Like, hey, the science says people don't die as much when everyone wears a mask, so let's just wear a mask for a little bit.
If it doesn't work out, we'll tell you to take them off.
Right. We're just gonna experiment with them.
We're gonna mess with it for a little bit,
like,
dog, and that's okay. Stop being a dick.
Right. Like,
why is that so hard?
Like, is it really hard to acknowledge the? Like, I think people don't want to. We talked about this like weeks and weeks ago about the idea of like nuance.
Ugh.
People don't want to acknowledge there are bigger issues or bigger, like, you know, the idea of like all lives matter thing. Like, no one wants to acknowledge like systemic racism.
Yeah.
They just want to acknowledge the fact that, well, we treat Evan well. So
that dude, bro,
like,
that's why I hate when people talk about well, the economy was good. Donald Trump fixed the economy for the black man.
Well,
no. And again, I'm not an expert. I'm pretty dumb, actually. I don't know a damn thing about most things.
Aren't we all?
But again, that part of the problem is that people can't admit that singular statement.
Yeah.
I digress. But cool. It doesn't matter how many black people have jobs when the jobs that they have are bullshit.
Right.
When
or they pay like less than
they're getting paid less than X, Y, and Z, when they don't get benefits, when they don't get whatever the damn issue is, it's different. And people just don't want to acknowledge that singular statement. It's different, bro.
I mean,
and it's a tough go.
It's kind of the thing, like we were just like talking about numbers and science and whatnot. But some people, they want to use other numbers to, like, you know, kind of perpetuate their views.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather it's the idea of you can make a graph look very dramatic depending on how you like frame it.
Yeah.
Like, you can like, all right, we're going to talk about the rise of like deaths in the last like 10 years, or we're going to do it over the last like 200. Like what are you going to?
They're both covering the same topic, but because
of the way you
whatever factor,
right,
it's gonna make it seem more substantial or less.
So like, what? At what point do you like? I think this is kind of what people have tried to like figure out, or maybe we've gone so like entrenched in two sides. At what point is it, as Fox News once put it, at what point is it fair and balanced? At what point, as a musician, are you just about like fundamentals and like, or I mean, like you say, like, you know, you're teaching that way. Are you really teaching that way? Are you teaching them to be like
robots? Yeah.
I mean, well, the thing is, like, you know, people like say like robots. Like, well, are you teaching them to be robots?
Soldiers.
Yeah.
For the sake of continuity of conversation.
I guess so. Yeah, like, are you teaching them to be a soldier, or are you teaching them to be an artist? It's hard to do that. It's hard to like I think it's
and you know, it's really hard to tell with what we're doing at the middle school level. You teach them in that 6th grade, and you hope in 5 years,
hope something good happens.
Just some.
Like, I hope he learns like I mean, granted, like, I know I don't spend as much time as I want to on playing by ear
Yeah.
and all that stuff. And I sometimes look down upon it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, no, it's not going to help them like learn how to read music if you're playing by ear.
Yeah.
I'm like, you also got kids that graduate from my program that can't do anything besides reading music. So like,
Yeah.
what did I really teach them? Did I teach them how to be a soldier? Ooh, that's a scary thought.
It's a scary thought, man. And
When the goal was to teach them to be a fundamentalist, I was like trying to avoid that word because of the context around it, but I think it's the best word.
yeah, you know, terms get convoluted, and
Yeah.
but I mean, it's hard to come up with another term for that idea of just fundamentally, what is it that you're doing?
Like, do you understand music? Do you understand politics? Do you understand like food? Like, like I think that's do you understand comedy? Like, there's so many like. I know. I love how we only talk about like four
Yeah,
or 5
I mean,
things.
we talk about what we know about,
Right?
son.
Yeah. Like dance, whatever you want to like talk about. I think getting to that central like fundamentalist thing.
Yeah.
Is so hard, but I think that's when people reach like exceptional levels is when they understand that central level so high. Like I think Michael Jordan was amazing.
Yeah.
At like he just knew basketball. He could go on a court.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
And just like shoot anything, dunk anything. Like he was not a defensive player he was kind of stronger on the offensive side of things.
Yeah.
But like
he wasn't just pass me the ball outside the three. I'm gonna sink shots. Like I can't dribble. I can't do nothing else. But I can. You give me the ball in my hands. I'm gonna sink a three.
Right. Like I think the best people can do
all of it.
Right. Can do all of it.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's, I think. And the people that I hear it from is from the mixed martial arts world that I follow, of fight IQ. And I think what they mean by that is they're able to read their opponent in such a way that when they're going to do this, I can do this, which is going to counter to that. So when they do that, when they fall into that trap, I can catch them with this. Oh, that didn't work. Then I've got these 3 other things on the back end to still keep me up on top of my opponent.
Meanwhile, you got the guy who's like, I'm just working on boxing.
Yeah. And that kid that's just working on boxing, gonna have a mean stand-up game.
Right.
But once he gets taken down, what's gonna happen to him?
He's gonna end up just wrapped up like I
he's
wasn't prepared for this. He's gonna
get choked out. Yeah.
Like,
and you see that on that that really low amateur level of dudes that just don't learn all the bases. But this is what I'm talking about. It's because you've got those guys that even at the top level, they have that like full knowledge of the sport. Mm-hmm. They have a strong background in wrestling, jiu-jitsu, boxing, kickboxing.
Right.
They cover all the bases, but they still aren't the best fighter. And that what they're missing is that fight IQ of knowing. The probably one of the best examples is the Jorge Masvidal and Ben Askren fight.
Right.
I know we didn't watch it together, but I know damn well I've shown you
I've seen so many clips of that. Yeah.
Where he did a training camp for 8 weeks preparing for a wrestler. But he knew
exactly what he was going to do.
The first damn thing he's going to do is he's going to rush out, duck his face, and go for the double leg takedown.
So cool, I'm going to give you a flying knee.
So I'm going to bury my knee into your damn orbital, lay you out, give you a quick double tap, super necessary. Fastest knockout in UFC history.
Right.
That's that fight IQ.
Right.
Because a good fighter would have just laid out there and just been like, I'm a fighter wrestler. I just need to train wrestling so that way I can keep up with it.
He understood kind of going, I don't even know this is a part of this like episode, like where we're talking about the idea of like roles. That's the idea of roles to me.
That's not. We didn't talk about that today, but go on that.
Yeah, like to me, we're talking like having goals versus like understanding like your like roles as a person. Like, you know, are you an educator? Are you a fighter? Like, I think when you get down to it, the things that I want on my gravestone are gonna be the things I'm fundamentally the best at.
Okay.
Like, I am, you know, killer conductor, killer educator, like killer chef, whatever you want, whatever you want it to be. Like, I think when you get to that point of like understanding something so fundamentally, if you want to put it in like fighting terms, like you understand how to fight someone so well, you can have all the knowledge in the world, like, but when you have like the knowledge and the skills like combined, like when you understand that thing to a fundamental level. Now, granted, you might not be. This might be, no. I was gonna say, like, you might not be like the best boxer, or you might not be like the best like. No, we're talking about something different here.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, like you're talking about being like the best at what you do.
Yeah.
Like being the best fighter, being the best musician, like being like, you're not about like, oh, I'm trying to be the best like classical musician ever. I'm trying to be the best jazz musician. I'm trying to be the best like kickboxer, the best like. No, I'm going to be the best at
musician. like
I'm gonna be the LeBron James of like what I do, or the Oprah Winfrey of what I do. I'm just gonna be good at it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
like regardless of what you know, preconceived notions people have about like what you can do, what you should do. Like, no, I'm just gonna do the best thing ever.
Just gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it at a great level.
Right. Like you've mastered it at that point when you like. You know, if you take music, you're reading a piece of music. That's why I appreciate when people can memorize music. It's like you've reached that point of, I have learned this piece of music, the exact, like, I know every single marking in it. I know the, like, you know, there's a crescendo here. Oh, you like hear it. But you also can play it off the top of your head.
Yeah.
To me, that's when you've reached the zenith. Gotta have a word that ends with a. It starts with a Z. I was like, does Zenith start with an X or a Z? And
pretty sure it's Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Z and ITH.
Wasn't that a movie? A Disney Channel movie?
No, you're thinking of Xena.
You're right.
Wait, no. Xena Warrior Princess is a show from the 90s. 90s or 80s.
I think there was a Disney movie.
We're talking about Xenon. Is it Xenon?
Oh, it might be Xenon.
Something like that.
I don't know. Whatever.
It's a whole.
Anyways.
But yeah, to me, like, that's where, like, the fundamentalist thing, like, you know, soldier, artist, I don't think those two people are, I think at the top level. Ooh, spicy idea. What if it doesn't tilt? What if it actually, like, it's like a pyramid? Like, what if you're
in the middle?
Yeah. What if it meets in the middle? What if, like, someone is, like, so good at, like, you know, kind of like that Rousseau thing. He can do both sides on the same mouthpiece. Or, like, you know, Jorge Masvidal, he can fight a boxer. He can fight a kickboxer. Like, it doesn't really matter what he's
doing. He's going to throw hands.
Like, he can, like, I think people at the top level, that top fundamental level, they can do either side of it. Or, you know, people at the top political level, they can control the world if they want to. Like, they don't have to, like, I'm going to appeal to this, like, side. No, I'm just going to, like, I'm going to Dick Cheney it. I'm just going to control shit. And got really political there. I'm just going to, like, control shit.
Dick Cheney was wild.
Like, it's just going to be what I do. Is like,
that's true. That's a good,
Like, to me, it kind of, you know, I was the person that put us on this, like, duality track.
Yeah.
But to me, when you get to the top level, at the bottom level, it's very, like...
Very separated.
Like, it's a pyramid. Like, at the base, it's very, like... There are people on both sides. It's very separate.
Yeah.
But at the top level, I think
Are they all the same? That's true.
Right. Like, are we just working towards the same goal? Like, just like, hey, I'm trying to work on fighting. I'm trying to work on music or cooking or, like...
I don't think it's a singular point, but I think there is that top level. I think there's just definitely that top level of where it all meets together. Because no matter how you slice it, like
there's gonna be different skills.
If you've been running the Arbin's book your entire life,
right,
you'll have a level of improvisation because you can just go through one of the whatever, like 500
etudes or whatever, yeah,
etudes, lines, whatever it may be. Like you can mix and
match.
Match.
You can kind of pull that like out of the like.
But is that any different than
someone who went through the
just learn every single one of Coltrane's
right
solos, right? Like at the top, they're both able to do their instrument at a expert level,
right?
But I think there is some wiggle room between what it is that they're doing.
Right. And I think that's the like the. I think being able to do both sides of it is the key. Now, which side you go on, I don't really. That's up to you. Like that's up to you, like as a person. Like if you want to be like that person that can do classical stuff, or person that can box like hell, I'm sure if you get like, I'm trying to think of like Terry Crews, I'm sure you could teach Terry Crews how to box.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could teach him how to do taekwondo. Like, I'm sure he could do both of those things. But in the end, he's just yoked.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like, in the end, like, you get those, like, the triple threats that are, like, really good. Like, they can do singing, acting, dancing. In the end, you're just a performer.
You're just a performer. Yeah,
like, you're just really good at being on stage, like, regardless of what you're doing.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's the life we chose is an interesting one and is filled with many questions. Yeah. None of which ever really get answered.
Nope. That's the fun part.
I don't know if fun is the right word, but it's
the fun, or the most horrible part of it is the
keeps it interesting.
Yeah.
Keeps it interesting. And again, I don't think that's a bad thing.